Okay, so here's the rain effect. First, you want to add a new layer, change that layer to black, and then go to Filter, Noise, Add Noise. And for the settings here, it doesn't really matter. You can pull off the effect with both uniform and Gaussian. You might see different results. I go with whatever's selected, and if I don't like it, then I'll go back and experiment more. But the main thing is I have this set to monochromatic, so not with the color, but with just black and white. And then so now we got our dots and everything, and that's going to be what the rain's made out of. But next we need to make it look a little bit more like rain, and that's going to be filter, blur, motion blur, and here I'll play with the distance. I don't want to go like that much. That to me doesn't really look like rain. That just looks like a bunch of pinstripe lines. So I that looks a little bit more like rain, and maybe I'll play with that a little bit more. Maybe something like that. The angle, I mean, you can go with like an angle like that, and it looks like the wind's blowing really hard. But for what we need here, I'm just gonna go with 90, so it's just going straight down. And we're gonna click OK. Now that we have the rain, I'm gonna go ahead and change this to screen so we can see it without the black. That gets rid of all the black. And that looks okay, not too bad, but I'm going to go ahead and bring up my levels to add some contrast for the black and white so that the white will stand out a little bit more, making the rain stand out a little bit more. And you don't have to use levels, you can use curves, or even up here in image, adjustments, brightness and contrast, you can use contrast. I mean, it works somewhat. Maybe with Legacy turned on, it seems like it works a little bit better. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, that works actually pretty well. Use Legacy and then change the contrast to go up a little and then the brightness down. You can see how, it's just sprinkling here, which it's pretty nice. Or if it's like pouring down the rain. I actually like the sprinkles, and that was pretty easy, so I don't feel like I need to go into levels, but just for the sake of it, you can adjust these too, if you're familiar with levels and adding contrast that way. Some examples of this effect in some more serious illustrations. Just recently in the challenge of the month for Draw with Jazza, I did that very effect right here, using that noise and motion blur to add some rain here. Some of this is handmade, like the actual splatters on his pants, or down here in the ground. But I didn't go overboard with it. So like over up here in the clouds, you can barely see any raindrops. They're more obvious over here by the light source, which is the ghost lady. And here's another example of that rain effect being used. Okay, I think that explains the rain. Back to the other video that we're working on.